Okay, this is Baruch here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and what I have in front of me is a makeup shear because I learned Chavurusa this morning, a not particularly easy Indian for me, and I somehow managed to erase it. So I erased that video, so now we're doing another video. Now we're over here on we're in the section which is called the Shefa HAKODESH. He has shilas and brings answers. Particularly over here, we deal with the Shemin Sason, who is probably, we should be looking him up too. We'll look at it for a second. Let me stop this and I'll look it up. Okay, this is Baruch. I'm back. It took me a while to find something over here. The Shemin Sason over here is Rabbi Sason Parsiado. He lived between 1750 and 1830. Now, there's very little here that actually talks about his bio, and I'll try to do probably more research to try to find out more. But this is the age, this is the period he was in. He lived into the 19th century. So Rabbi Sason Parsiado, he has many books of Kabbalah. Wow, this thing is a Kabbalah by Rabbi Sason, the Shemin Sason with Shari Sason. Al Eitz Chaim, so he has all of these things. He brings us here an image of it. I think that's the best I can get of the Sefer itself. Rabbi Sason Parsiado, once again, look inside, since it's going to be in Hebrew. So this is, he's selling these books. This is at the Farm Center, which is one of the places I buy books. Okay, anyway, that's the best I could say about the Shemin Sason, and we're going to see it again. Now, there's a problem in this particular piece. And later on, as we get to the second column, he's going to talk about two different partsufim. The parts of which he calls the parts of Zman. Parts of Zman, again, when you use the word partsuf, you're talking about something that goes from Kesser down to Malchus, something in there, in that range. That's what we mean as a working filter of light, let's say, so to speak. So there's one that has to do with the seasons. So for example, he had given us an example of, say, for example, for Rosh Hashanah is Gevurah. So Gevurah is the overall attitude of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and it also bleeds into Sukkot and Shmini Atzeres, so on and so forth. Some of that. Now, another thing he talks about is the parts of the Yom. Now, this one I don't really know what he means, and that we'll try to find out. And if I don't know at the end of this, then I still won't know, but I'll still be looking for it. So listen, this bar b'divrich of Rav shekol sedach hamshachas hamolchem b'Chanukah, hu shehanuk mekabelas hamolchem ba'atzma, that she gets a direct pipeline of molchem. Upelahu shevasider ein shum kavana, but in the siddur, the Rishash, there's nothing in it. There's no kavana here. V'shum remez al inyan zeh shemekabelas hanuk al yedach atzma, where there's nothing to tell you that the Nook is not getting her shefa, as he's about to say, from Zer Anpin, but from Yaakov, in this case, but during the weekday, but she's getting from Zer Anpin, from his hod. So let's see, she doesn't get from Yaakov. This has to do with lighting the candles, but Tzarech Iyun, so we have to get back into that. Now over here, the Shemin Sason, of which you just saw a little very brief bio on the Shemin Sason. Here, Kavar Bezeh, he already commented on this, Ayin Sham B'Devarov, V'Lefim Masha Kasavdach B'Posa Kodim, Nicher Shafir. So, I haven't looked at that up, I don't know where to find it. So he said, the Adarabba, Zedach Hamshacha B'Chanukah, Pashut Yoser B'Kavanas Tefillah. So he says that during the Kavana of the Tefillah, there was a little story that I told about this during maybe I didn't, but I was going to, and about what the power of the Kavana is. I guess I said it in a different shir. It's a story of the tzaddik who was depressed because his prayers were not hitting the mark. He was not able to get to the mark, and the Rebbe Nachman story over this is to teach us that if you learn your kavanos, that you could make your prayer much, much stronger. Because you have to know where you're sending your prayer, and what is the path by which it is accepted by the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, so to speak, like that. The Harecha Kavanos Birchas Bracha B'Shana is bar the Zer Anpin, that is Zuna Gedolim, nosin the Shefa the Yaakov Rachel, which are Zuna Katanim. Ella the Khan B'Divrei Rab, but here when we talk about with the Rabbis Dachamid the Nizgal Alona the B'Yamosachol, we see over here that during the weekday, Lokeach Yaakov B'Techidach B'Ez Kol HaShefa, Yaakov takes all of the Shefa, who nosin the Rachel as Chelko. So this is a normal way. Let me see if we get this down here. The nosin the Rachel as Chelko. He gives her portion to Rachel. That's right, because he has both portions. He has let's say he has the male portion, he has the female portion. He gives the female portion to the Nook, and that's an interchange. But it goes straight. Pshuta here means straight. It goes straight from Hod right into the Nook. Shechazazan noisin the Yaakov Rachel Hashefa the Shnechem B'Shava, because he gives both of them from Hod at the same time. And the reason why is that both of them are standing now, not one Yaakov on Netzach and the Nook on Hod. They're both on Hod. And the Shefa that comes out of the Hod of Zeranpin is going to go right to them. But this whole idea that the fact that we're saying over here is that the Nook is in Hod along with Yaakov, which is a Chedesh, that Yaakov somehow moved over to there. Im Yaakov Rachel owned that's their normal way. Oshenehem Behod is what, which is it? V'hamakavin, the person trying to aim this properly, Yakavin the Fi Seder Hazmanim. He should feel it according to the Seder Hazmanim. Now, question is, what is the Seder Hazmanim? The Seder Hazmanim is what we said before. It is that Pesach, for example, is the Zaman of Chesed. Rosh Hashanah is the Zaman of Gevurah. Over here, apparently, it's a Zaman of Hod. Now, exactly how does this work? So I had said in the previous year, if they have to think about this astronomically, because in Jewish astrology, and as we understand the astronomy that goes along with it, it says that the planets and the earth are in sync. There's a coordination between all things, basically moving in circles, ball-shaped figures moving in circles. Now, exactly how these are like gears, and they're all interacting all the time. We don't realize it. Like one of the things I like to think is that where are you right now? How fast are you moving? Are you sitting? Are you in your car? Are you sitting at home? Or where are you? Actually, you're moving 1,000 miles an hour. Well, how is that? Well, the earth revolves. It's moving. You don't realize it's moving. It's just you will think, well, the sun's moving. Well, the sun is moving, but not that way. We're moving around the sun. We're going in circles. And so are all the constellations moving in circles. The sun, the moon, the planets, all of them moving in circles. They are circular, moving in circles. Now, somehow, the concept of Hod, which could be seen in, if you read or you get a chance to buy, it's a deep book, Yaakov Cronenberg's Jewish Astrology, a Cosmic Science. You get that book. He has a little drawing in there, which I've shown before. You could go back into my library and see it many times. Is how the combinations, the 12 different combinations, could be made out of the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. And that all represents the Shefa, spiritual Shefa. And also there's a physical aspect to it too, because the world keeps going around no matter what. This is that Shefa. That Shefa is pouring down through different letter combinations, each one in its own time. So that's a whole thing. We'll get into it another time. Hazmanim Mepashat. V'ayin heite b'divrei Hashem and Salson Shekasav Tirutz Zecher B'Koitzer Amarim. So he said briefly, he says like this. V'ayin Sham, so go over the Shem and Salson, pick it up. Shetirutz Ba'od Ofen, so yet another way of answering this. He said, the Hain Emes, the truth is that this is the truth. The parts of Azmanim, Yeshini b'Chanukah b'mei ha'chol. There's a difference between Chanukah and the rest of the week. He says, Ella, she'ein anu mekuvanim zos, but we don't think about this. We don't, that's not our aim. We're not trying to work on the concept, and which I'm not sure what he means, but I think he means that the whole concept of Hod is strong at this time. That's what I was trying to say. Maybe I didn't say it well about the planets and how they work in like cogs and gears and so on and so forth. Is that there is a special time as those gears revolve where somehow Yaakov winds up in Hod. How that works, it's a fact. So he says, She'ein anu mekuvonim zos, but we don't think about that. The kol kavanot to be most of Chanukah hu b'parts of yomim, but I don't know what he means by that. That is the 8 days, each individual day of Chanukah. Ella the Tomah said, but let's say if we're concentrating on the days, then what happened to all the atmosphere that comes from Hod? Because every Yom Tov, we're thinking only about the Zamanim. For example, we say once again, like Pesach is Chesed. So that whole period of Pesach is the atmosphere, all is Chesed. All around you, everywhere is Chesed. Pouring down Shefa. Look at Moshe Kosev at Rav Drasha Yom Tov. Rav writes like this: the parts of Hazman HaShefach u'Bebel Rav, because what's pouring out from God in way of consciousness and blessing in the form of Chesed is pouring out. Berubas HaShemayim Niftachu, and the windows of the gates of heaven open, and all the bracha comes. V'lechein yesh l'kavin rak bo. So therefore, it's such a powerful thing. It's like the metaphor that he says is like a candle at noontime. There's so much light and consciousness coming in, it drowns out any other particulars. V'kol tikuni parts of a yomim na'asim b'aleichem. And then you say, well, what's going on each individual day? That's what I'm trying to say. It says is nullified in that great light of the Zaman. V'im came lama yishtan Chanukah mishachar yomim tovim. So that why is it? This is his question, and I'm not telling you I understand it, but he says this is his question. V'im came lama yishtan Chanukah mishachar yomim tovim. What makes Chanukah different? Why? Because in Chanukah megavanim b'boch parts of a yom. Because here we count each and every day. What's going on in the day is the most part. I think that's the pshat there. I think that's the pshat. Working this over, God has blessed me. I think at least I have some satisfaction to myself. That the parts of a yomim means that today is the third day. And we concentrate on the shefa that comes in the third day. So because the days are the most important part. So the Rav didn't really get into detail and try to tell us exactly how this kavanah works. Shall tefillas yimei haChanukah, that is in the days of Chanukah. L'chein ana b'kavanah rak b'parts of a yom, so therefore we just concentrate on the day. So he had said previously that for whatever reason the Rav did not add this idea that both Yaakov and Rachel are at Hod. He didn't talk about that. So therefore, we're left to figure out, well, what are we talking about? Because that would be Hod really ruling over the atmosphere. Parts of Zmanim na'asim. We say, well, that's going on. It's like it's going on by itself. It doesn't require us. What does require us, my God, is lighting the candles every day, saying the brachos that are shaykh to Chanukah. Amnam tirat doicheku, but the Tiv writes that he thinks that this is pushing it a little bit, this explanation. At any rate, I think I have an answer for myself. What does the Parshas Vayamim mean? And Parshas Zmanim, I think I can figure that out, or I can work with it. This is Baruch Fleischman. You've been listening to the Secrets of Chanukah at the Tikkun Elevator Call-Up.